The Italian people have maintained a rich and mystical culture ever since making their way to the United States in the mid to late 19th century. Escaping their impoverished and corrupt homeland, Italian immigrants looked for a better life and, in turn, a land to call their own where families could grow and the poor could prosper. Instead, they encountered a land of prejudice and violence, all because of their refusal to exhibit the traits of antebellum Southerners toward blacks in the South. I'm Alan Gauthreaux, and I'm the author of An Extreme Prejudice, Anti-Italian Sentiment and Violence in Louisiana from 1855 to 1924. This work explores the origins of Italian exploration and settlement, as well as the welcoming of Italian immigrants to the Bayou State. After the Civil War, Louisiana planters perceived a need for a labor force to work the land needed if the South were to recover from the devastation of the war and revitalize the economy. The trouble for Italians began in the mid-19th century as natives organized into political parties bent on eliminating any perceived foreign threat. Fortunately, this American party did not gain a foothold in American politics, but would later return in another form to wreak havoc on Italians and other immigrants alike. Nevertheless, the wholesale hatred began with a much publicized incident that has been misunderstood throughout Louisiana history. Although the troubles may have disappeared temporarily, Italian stereotypes began to appear in the media to the point where the citizens of the state based their judgments regarding Italians on newspaper articles and hearsay, often forming their opinions based upon these stereotypes. In the fall of 1890, New Orleans Police Chief David C. Hennessy, a man of questionable reputation, suffered fatal gunshot wounds while returning home from a late dinner. His dying declaration spelled doom for the Italian population of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana, setting off the largest mass lynching in American history, and which almost culminated in a war between the United States and Italy. Subsequently, the citizens of Louisiana declared an open season on Italians and believed an underworld element to be responsible for anything involving the immigrants. An Extreme Prejudice also explores this myth of the mafia and the Black Hand, with all the fear they fomented amongst the Italian communities of not only Louisiana, but the rest of the nation as well. A fear that still causes fascination amongst historians and history buffs alike. Unlike most narratives, An Extreme Prejudice portrays the Italian people as the victims of their own pursuit of happiness, unfairly judged based upon the prejudices of their time. This is not to say they failed to overcome these prejudices. Eventually, Italians assimilated into American culture, building upon the fabric of an already great nation and accomplishing great feats. Read about the Italian trek to become known as American citizens in my book, An Extreme Prejudice. It can be found at historyforall.com, and if not in your local bookstore, ask them to carry it.